Waheguru, so Waheguru, everybody, thank you for inviting me and for that wonderful birthday song. Yes, it feels like quite an auspicious occasion that I should share today with you the numbers of this year and on my birthday. So it's not really a Kundalini yoga class, but I think I always teach with the golden chain, so let's tune in. Inhale deep. Exhale. Inhale for chanting. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Adungure Namah, Jagadungure Namah, Sadgure Namah, Sri Gurudev Namah, Adgure Namah, Jagadgure Namah, Sadgure Namah, Sri Gurudev Namah, Adgure Namah, Jagadgure Namah, Sadgure Namah, Sri Gurudev Namah. Satnam. Okay. Well, I have written already quite a lot about this theme of the numbers of 2024, and it is on my website, karmkriya.com. So we have a short window here. Nonetheless, it's good to hear something alive, and that's what we're here for today. I have often a feeling that people wait for prophecies, some kind of fortune telling, tell me the future. And this year it's a very relevant topic actually, because let's say 24, 2 plus 4 is 6. It's very much a kind of karmically worry about the future kind of number. So, and with all what's been going on in the world, conflict, which is also number 6 quality, there's a lot of worry about the future. Too much in some way. And I'd say it every year anyway, that the work that I do, the approach I take is not a prophetic approach, fortune-telling approach. Rather, the numbers are simply giving us a theme, a focus for the year to work on the properties or qualities of the numbers that each year presents. But certainly this number 6 is very much a future question number, but the 4, because what changes this year, every year really, is first of all this little unit number. Number 4 change, the 3 becomes a 4. So that's the first number to pay attention to. What are its qualities, its properties? And every number has karmic or dharmic expression of it. So it's good to pay attention to that. What is the shadow side of the number, karma, and what is the dharma, the bright side of it? And how will we work with those themes for this year? Okay, I must remind myself to pause here and there for translations to happen. some languages take more time than others for translating. So about this future question, because what the number 4 says is, it asks me, like, what's my contribution to the future? Instead of, oh, worry, what's going to happen this year, the karma of the 4 is a passivity. And that's our default, really. Just, I am subject to all the forces around me, rather than I can influence. So the number 4 very much asks us, what do I bring? What are my choices? What's my contribution? It's a number of giving and receiving. Receiving in that sense of just receiving the impact. That's the passive side. The active side is a consequence of what I receive is also what I give. Yeah. So what am I receiving? What am I giving? Yeah. There's 3 numbers then to think about. The 4 from 24, the 6, because 2 plus 4 is 6, and then 2 plus 2 plus 4, 2024, that's 8. And 2 things stand out immediately, really, and that's also the pairing of 4 and 6. They are a pair, they work together, they add up to 10. I see them as 2 sides of an axis, or 2 sides of the coin. So there's something very potentially harmonious and very complete in this quality of 24. And then also 8, so the 2 and the 4 and the 6 and the 8, these even numbers are also all feminine numbers. So that's another thing that stands out for this year, how present the feminine numbers are. And that really points to the possibility of a very strong feminine awakening. Why do I say also awakening? Because 4 and 6 are also numbers of consciousness. 4 is the bud, which is linked to your heart and neutral mind, and number 6 is the flower. So that's the arc line and the opening up of awareness and consciousness. And they are community numbers. 1, 2, 3 is very personal, the individual, the animal. 7, 8, 9, they are more kind of universal, cosmic numbers. 4, 5, and 6 are community numbers. So it's a year to really invest in the community. And when we talk about feminine awakening, it's very much a collective state. It's not enough for an individual awakening, but the collaboration and the working together, coming together of women. I've said it over many, many years that all what's going on from the residue of the Piscean false patriarchal kind of energy is not really going to stop until women get it together and say stop. And that means women working together, not being against each other, not competing or being jealous or withdrawing into their insecurities or their self-doubts, which is a number 4, by the way, karma of number 4. Too much doubt, too much paralysis and passivity. So they need to step up, come together into community, and to kind of almost scream out. Number 6 is more like the battle cry. Scream out into the world. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Time, stop all this nonsense. If women don't come together to say that, it's not going to happen. That's one thing. This is a general statement. It's not unique to this year, but what we say is the numbers of each year kind of lend themselves, they lend support for those qualities to come up more strong. Okay. I don't know if people are able to write in the chat, but I invite you to feel free to write comments, put forward your own insights, questions, what occurs to you as you hear these themes coming up. I found an interesting little phrase, little story on somewhere on the internet. Somebody asks a question. Oh, what do you think this year is going to bring? And then the person answers, flowers. Flowers? How can you say that? And then the person answers, because I'm planting flowers. That's what this year is about. Now, what are you planting? Instead of like, what's going to happen, and being stuck in this worry, the question is, what do you decide? What do you choose? What are you contributing? This is the number 4 question. Yeah. It's 4, people think about crossroads, number 4, so decision making. Yeah. It means it's a decisive year, actually. Collectively, it's a decisive year. We may not see fully what that means until later in the year. June is number 6 month, so from June onwards, I think we'll see some very clear and strong indicators of what it means, how this year becomes a decisive year. Number 4 is the planet of Uranus, which is also the planet of revolution and awakening. But of course, no revolution happens if we all sit passive. So, knowing our contribution. Now, normally we think of contribution might mean action, which is number 3. But contribution is also consciousness. We often underestimate the power of just consciousness itself. Am I aware? How aware am I? Am I paying attention to what I'm aware of? Many times we hear something like, we know, but we don't want to know that we know. We know, but we don't want to know that we know. We don't decide from what we know. We know, but then we leave it aside. This year asks you to be with what you know, to really make choices based on what you know. Not to know and then ignore what you know. Hmm. 4 is also a number of prayer. We call it cup of prayer, the neutral mind, the cup of prayer. I've realized over the years that people pray, but they don't really trust their prayer. So number 4 is also about trust. Now, prayer is also commitment. We tie these things together. 4 is about commitment, 4 is about prayer. Commitment is a prayer, and a prayer is a commitment. It's an investment of yourself. Prayer is nothing without, 4 is like 2 times 2. 2 is passion. Mm-hmm. So putting your passion into the prayer, otherwise it's empty. It's a strange thing. The cup of prayer on the one side should be empty to receive, but on the other side it should be full of your passion. Prayer is not just a request, it's an investment of your passion, an investment of your being, we could say. I invest myself. I open myself to the reality of what I pray for. So yes, pray and trust your prayer. This is very strong qualities of a number 4 this year. 4 and 6, the collective consciousness, we've spoken of it, we'll say more. And it's an element air as well, 4 and 6. 4 is more soft, embracing, gentle, but number 6 is like a sword, very sharp, very cutting. We could even say penetrating in some way. So I think of this year as a slow building up of a storm of awakening, starting with a 4, gently, gently, and then building up and building up, building up. Number 8 is like a tsunami energy. Can we have a tsunami of compassion? 8 is about purity, 8 is healing, 8 is compassion. 8, this kind of oscillation between sympathy, antipathy, or empathy. In the middle of the 8, in that twist of the 8, this is where empathy is. So finding this middle point, not being I'm for these people and I'm against these people. Can I hold both sides? If I can't have compassion for one, my compassion for the other is not authentic. It's very challenging because in the middle of that 8, this is where the 5 is. This is the nervous system. Can my nervous system hold that much compassion? Compassion and empathy, 2 different words for the same thing, to feel what others are feeling, to feel all the struggles, all the pain. So somebody has put their microphone on. Tej Vedra, his microphone is on. I don't know if I'm a co-host or somebody needs to be able to mute her. Thank you. Number 8. 4, 6, and 8, this build up of that breath, of that wind, of that, it's also linked to pain. When heart is open, we are vulnerable. When we're vulnerable, we feel. When we feel pain and we feel love. In some way, we could even say you wouldn't feel love if you didn't feel pain, and you wouldn't feel pain if you didn't feel love. You can't really separate love and pain. When it's colored with the other numbers, 3, which comes before the 4, then it's I love this, I don't love that, I hate them, and I love them. But 4 is linked to 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 10, the whole. Love all or love none. Love all or love none. There's a meaning of unconditional love. And that 10 tells you the cup is like a circle, like a 10. Can I hold the whole world in my heart without discrimination? 8 is discrimination and discernment, but as a means, not as a judgment. The theme of discrimination has been around for some time, isn't it? Prejudices and preferences and this kind of projections. But discrimination or discernment as a means. Meaning what? Meaning it's a process. I don't know what is true, but I know what is not true. I eliminate to illuminate. I go to the buffet in the restaurant. I don't know what to take, but I know what not to take. I don't say, okay, not this, not that. Not with prejudice, not, oh, I hate those things. It simply is not for me. This is a process. Discernment as a process. Discrimination as a process. When it comes in, when number 7 colors it, then it becomes a prejudice, a judgment against certain people. This is subtle discernment, subtle differences we need to make here. So number 4, that wholeness of the 10. Number 8, allowing the polarities, both included. What sits in the middle of that twist is a paradox. Can I hold both this side and that side, this argument and that argument? Can I hold them both? Can I not take sides? There's a danger in neutrality becoming some kind of cold, insensitive, uncaring. Oh, I'm just neutral. Of course, this is a karma, which people refer to as spiritual bypassing. But then there can be a misunderstanding. People think, okay, I shouldn't be doing bypassing, so then I have to take a position. I have to be pro something, which implies I'm anti something else. But number 4 is humanity. It's not one tribe or another tribe, one group or another group. It's humanity. It's a totality. I am pro-humanity. No one is excluded from that. And someone may not be happy that you're not taking a position, but that is a position. And it's not insensitive. In fact, it's incredibly intense, actually, to be pro-humanity, to be willing to hold and to feel what's happening on all sides. Number 4 is your heart. Heart needs to be very deep, very wide, very strong. So that's a work for this year, to build the strength of your heart, to build the vastness of your heart. Mm-hmm. I'll go a little more with 4. 4, truthfulness and service, seva. Selfless service, the virtue of the neutral mind. Serve the truth. Now, we don't know what truth is, but we know what it's not. Double negative, remember? So it's not about tell the truth, but it's being truthful. Being in an attitude of truthfulness. I know what I know, but I also know what I don't know. Well, that has a double meaning. I know what I don't know. Not meaning intellectually I know something, but I'm not acknowledging it. Not like that. Meaning I know also the limits of what I know. I know that I don't know that. What we see is just the tip of the iceberg, really. We see such a small world, and we run in with judgments and discussions, thinking we know so much. Consciousness must expand, and there's always more. There's always more than what I perceive, what I sense. So can I be open to the more, and open to more, and open to more? First of all, through time and space, and ultimately beyond the time and space. But you can't jump to beyond time and space. You have to go through the time and space to go beyond it. Expand. And number 8 becomes infinite, timeless, akal. Number 8 is akal murat. 4 is satanam. 6 is nirbhav, no fear, fearless. And number 8 is akal murat. So good mantra for this year, Sat Sri Akal. Sat is the 4. Siri, as you know, Ekankara Sat Nam Siri, number 6. That greatness of the 6. And then Akal, number 8. Sat Sri Akal. It literally expresses the numbers 4, 6, and 8. Some of you might know this great battle cry of the Sikh community. Bole so nihal sat sri akal. Bole, speak, so nihal. Whoever will speak will be nihal, no worries, beyond all conditions. Hal means a condition, nihal, without condition, free of conditions. Whoever will speak. Speak what? Sat, truth, truthfulness. Because truth is Siri, great. Akal, truth undying. Truth cannot be killed. Truth shall have the victory in the end. All lies, all false understanding ultimately is self-destructive. Only truth survives. So it does give me a sense that this year there's going to be more revelations in a way. 6 is about secrecy and exposure. 4 is like withdraw, don't tell, don't say, don't feel, don't know. But number 6, we do like this. This is the bud, the closed lotus, and then it opens and it comes up to number 6 and it opens out. And this exposure, revelation. So the number 6 definitely implies something of this opening up, truth coming out more. And 6 can also be shock. So truth can be shocking, exposure can be shocking. Although the 5 is not there, 23 last year was 23.5 as a nervous system. If you're lucky, you did some good work last year on your nervous system, because when truth comes out, it can be quite intense for the nervous system. 5 is sitting in between 4 and 6. Nervous system needs to be strong to take that tsunami of truthfulness. Service. What are you serving this year? Because of the position of the number 4, it's not the total number, it's not the day, it's not the month. It's in a very interesting place. It's actually linked to the theme of peace and humility. Can I serve peace this year? Can I serve simplicity this year? Mm-hmm. It's not a year for arrogance. It's not a year for the ego. Not a year for self-importance. That won't go anywhere this year. That will not have any success this year. Ek Onkar Satanam, number 4. Ek On 2, God 3, Satanam. It's a year for Satanam. Mm-hmm. Service is very interesting. A lot of people are getting really into crisis with all the worries and all the changes and all what's going on. They're taking it very personally. They feel afraid. Now, fear is not an individual thing, actually. It's a useful insight I'm sharing with you. When you feel fear, you're actually picking up on a collective state. It's a breeze. It's a flow of air in the atmosphere. It's not you. It's in the ambience. It's around you. When we take it in, we breathe it into ourselves, and it comes into our 4, into the heart, and I am afraid. I feel fear. You feel fear, but it's not your fear. It's a state. It's a condition in the world. Now, here's an interesting paradox, because Guru Nanak says when we have fear of God, we have no other fear. I'm talking about number 6 here, right? Nirbhav. When I have fear of God, I'll have no other fear. Because it's a bit confusing. We want to say, like, religion has abused fear and controlled the people through fear, and even governments seem to do the same. And so we don't want fear. We don't want to deal with fear. But it's a bit inauthentic, really, to do that. It's a bit of a bypassing. Fear is natural. Fear is a excitation in your nervous system. Fear is an anticipation. It's a future. I'm not fear of the past. I'm fear of what may be. So actually, fear is like the edge of intuition. Arc line is for intuition. To sense, to pre-sense. To be tuned in what is coming before it comes. So we should be a little bit careful not to try to escape fear, but to feel the edge of it and feel the sensitivity that it brings. And then start to build your capacity to stay in that sensitivity. The mind is quick. So the mind wants to run in, and then it becomes fear of this, fear of that. And then that's karmic fear. That's the drama. But if I can just keep on the edge of it, I'm aware, I'm sensitive, I'm feeling, I'm listening, I'm breathing, breath by breath, what is coming. Pre-sensing, pre-sensing. And it also means present. Arc line is your presence. If I'm present, I can pre-sense. Fear is actually an invitation to be present. So this real meaning of fear of God was not meant to be some kind of, I'm going to be punished, or terrible things are going to happen and God is judging me. And Japji tells us very clearly in the near to the end, the description of such Kandvase God. God is there watching over and enjoying the creation. Enjoying. Not judging, not worrying, no nonsense, just watching and enjoying. It's our mind that says God is going to do some punishing trip on us. That belonged in the Piscean age. God is far more neutral than we realize, actually. And that's why you have the right in your prayer to say, God, watch over me. And remember what we said earlier. Your commitment is your prayer is your commitment, your prayer is your investment. And if the investment is real, then the response is real. If you decide God is compassionate and merciful, then God is compassionate and merciful. If you decide that cosmic oneness that we call God is here to judge me and punish me, then that is indeed what will come to you. Choose. This is number 4. I'll come back to 4. Choose. Fear means you remember things. If I'm worried about snakes, I always remember snakes. I have fear of snakes. I'm always thinking maybe there's a snake somewhere. So fear of something means remembering that something. Fear of God implies remember God. Remember God in 3 ways. Remember God within yourself through your experience. Remember God around you, see God in all, serve the God in all. Remember God in the transcendental form, the unknown of God, the nameless, the formless. Fear of God simply means pay attention. Live everything in your life in the context of that oneness. That also means yourself, include everyone. Exclude anyone, you've somehow excluded yourself. This is a really big challenge when we have wars and conflicts, potentially needing to come into full blossom this year with the number 6. The full flowering of this state of tension and the 8 of the polarization of the world. Behind the polarization is polarity. Polarization tries to build a wall. One is right, other is wrong. One should live, other should die. Polarity says, well, it's all part of the big one. None is right, none is wrong, unless I, in my mind, project it as right or wrong. And by what quality allows me, permits me, authorizes me to be the judge of any one as right or wrong. And this is not some bypassing. I'm talking about, I'm just with the light and glorious and I'm not dealing with any of that. Not at all. No, the 4 and the 6 ask you to be very present, very much in the middle of all of it, in the middle of the battlefield. But your battle cry is Sat Siryakal, truth shall prevail. Truth wins in the end. And often we don't know truth, but we do sense a lie. Can you acknowledge that for a moment? Can you allow in yourself? You have this capacity in you, this, I call it a barometer, truth barometer, or truth compass. This doesn't feel quite real. You can't explain it. That's one reason why we don't work from that place, because the mind says, yeah, but you've got to explain, you've got to justify, you've got to analyze, and when you can't, it's just a feeling that tells you, doesn't feel right, doesn't feel real. So one of your strategies this year has to be the ability to simply say stop. And I don't have to explain and I don't have to justify, but I'm not going down that path. I have mentioned in the text that I wrote number 8, the spider. Let me just check in the chat. There's a meditation, any meditation with Sat Siri, Siryakal, Mahakal, this mantra, any meditation with this mantra will be very good. Remember Sat Siryakal. This is, carry that forward. At least if you can go the next 40 days of this year, 90 days, 120 days, Sat Siryakal, Sat Siri, Siryakal, go with this mantra. And what system? Yes, glandular system is number 6, your endocrine system. Heart, work on your heart chakra, and which is thymus gland. And the pituitary, number 6, wake up the intuition. Arc line, work on your arc line very much. We say that compassion is a connection. People tend to make a connection with the heart and compassion. What I would wish to clarify for you all is that compassion, heart is not the source of compassion, but is the channel for compassion. In the Rakirakanahara, which we chant every morning in sadhana, Ho apadial manno navisaryan. We're asking for compassion. Dayal is compassion. So it's not I am being compassionate. I am actually being available, seva, number 4, as a channel for compassion. Compassion comes through the heart, not from the heart, but we say first compassion to self. So that means I first receive the compassion into my being. And then from there, it's shared with the world. Mhm. And then interesting, ho abidal manho navasariam, that I, in my mind, in my consciousness, I shall not forget. 4 and 6 is about that. Like, wake up, ring the bells. Come on, ding, wake up, Satnam, hello, remember. This is very much a year for this. Wake up, remember, remember. Ask first for that compassion to remember and then share this compassion with the world without prejudice. 24, symbol of Jupiter. Yeah, I don't know why, because that's number 3. 4 is Uranus, and number 6 is Venus, beauty, sharp, clear, the flower opening, Venus. But that flower opening can also be, these petals can have a sharp edge to them. This is also the sword. It's a funny little image, but from some old martial art movie with these little sharp discs that they throw. I don't know what they're called. But that's not just the flower side, but in Chinese medicine, the air element is also metal, which is the sword. So there's sharp circles coming out of this opening of the flower, sending out wake-up messages to the world. A kind of confetti. It can be the wedding, beautiful, soft rose petals everywhere. But it can also be the sharp petals of this little daggers, little arrows, like the Cupid. There's another expression of it, the soft love, the blanket love, but the arrow, Cupid's arrow, so it's sharp and it penetrates and it goes under your skin. Mm-hmm. Not very good at astrology here, so that's interesting, the symbol, but I'm not going to go into the interpretation of them, but I appreciate your sharing that in the chat. And number 8, since we are also exploring that, number 8 is the number of Saturn, the planet Saturn, the number of the planet Saturn, which is time. Some people say father time, but it doesn't have to be father or not father. It's relation to the primary masculine energy, for sure, relation to. 8 is not masculine, it's a feminine number. It's the number of the mother, actually, number 8, number of the mother, nurturing. But 8, mother is also, can be Kali, can be the death mother, it can be the life-giving mother. And that's also the twist of the 8, life and death, life and death. So that's for those who are into that topic of astrology, Uranus, Saturn, and Venus. Mm-hmm. So 8, I'm going to probably have to finish up soon. There's a lot more we can say about 8: power, authority, energy, water, money, economy. These kind of themes come in number 6, with 8 rather. 6, freedom and responsibility. There's no freedom without the 4, the commitment of the 4. Yes. So I'm going to stay with the 8 to conclude. Particularly the number of the spider. 8 eyes. Some spiders have 8 eyes. The silk which they weave, they can 8 types of different types of silk they can weave, and of course they have 8 legs. So what it made me think about was the net, the web, World Wide Web and the internet, interconnection, everything to everything. I'm hearing a little sound somewhere, some little echo somewhere. Check your microphones. This web, something moves at one part of the web, it affects the whole of the web. We are increasingly dependent on the web. Dependency is number 2, it's the other side of the number 8. 2 and 8 make 10. So this, we're being drawn in to the web, drawn into this dependency on this internet, interconnected net. Also financially, what are they calling it? Digital currencies. So this little sideline, somebody asked about the number of the first day of the year, which is 10. And I won't say too much about it because that's one reason why I chose to emphasize the connection of the 4 and the 10, and the 8 also being implied, that circularity of the whole of the 10. So this is very much a year of the all or nothing, yeah? And the 4, are you fully committed into your Satnam or not? Are you fully into the present to pre-sense where things are going? Is your prayer whole, complete, or it's not a prayer? That's the kind of background of the 10 working. Yes, thank you for that. So the
地震就在上面了，我害怕拿猛地一推门，我还没办法不走了。
Adi just did core. That was interesting. I don't know what you said there, but she put her mic back off. Great. The web is a medium. 8 is linked to water element, prana, chi. It's a medium. Media is a medium. Water is pure. One of the qualities of number 8, purity, healing, cleansing. Are we going to have a cleansing out this year? But what does that mean? Are we talking genocide cleansing? Are we talking about planetary cleansing with some more natural forces at work? And remember, this is not about prophecies. It's about saying these are the qualities working this year. Economical cleansing, what does that mean? Everything, because there's a big bubble, so a lot of bubbles actually of kind of false economies based on false manipulations and false stories. So the 8 can be a cleaning out of that, which of course can imply things have to come back to some kind of equalization, which normally means everything goes down to a lower level of the value. Because when you turn the 8 up this way, what you have is some people are up there with a lot, and some people down here with a little. And this twist, which circle is biggest? The circle at the bottom, circle at the top. Where's the energy? How much energy is here and how much energy is here? Where's all the money going? This kind of thing. These are just things to play with and contemplate and meditate on and be attentive to through this year. So spider. Interesting also how the female spider, after mating, eats the male. So that's also, again, this year it's possible that the potency of the male finally gets kind of consumed for a while, reduced, so that the feminine can come through, the feminine force and the waves of the feminine force. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to leave it there. But this net is going to happen a lot. We're going to be much more tied into this net. And we don't have to feel bad about it. We don't have to be super like, oh yeah, get connected. You're connected anyway. The internet is just like a materialization of the connection. That's already the case. That net has been around since the beginning of creation. Actually, there was never not a net. Some of you might know if you've done level 2 teacher training, Indra's net. It's always been there. What I find interesting is that how what has been there in the non-material is materializing. So the network becomes like one materializing manifestation of the net. Because the network is a medium, then what happens is people who control the net or believe they control the net or try to get control of the net because they want to send information through the net, through the channel, through the media. Now, if you go back some steps when I talked about discernment or discrimination, being very discerning what media you tune into and what media you trust. Because there's a lot of propaganda, a lot of manipulation and control of the net, and people are more and more dependent on it, and therefore there's a lot of listening into the net. It's almost unavoidable in some way. And that net works even without the technology, because somebody watches something on their computer and then they chat to their neighbor. Their neighbor maybe says, oh no, I don't watch the news, I don't do this, but you gossip, you talk. So the net goes on and everybody's into it, and it's just more and more overt. But it certainly means being a lot more conscious of what to listen to, what you choose to tune into on the net. And then, if I may conclude on this one, remember at the beginning we talked about giving and receiving, but not only then what you received from the net, but what are you sending out into the net? What frequency, what vibration, what are you presenting into the net? I would say that would be a really valuable contribution this year, to pay attention. What's your prayer? What's your vibration? What's your offering? What do you bring into the net? Okay, just repeat a few times now. Satnam Sri Vaheguru. 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 This will be really great frequency to send out in the net. From your heart, from your Satnam, into the arc line, into your presence of Sri, number 6, and then Vaheguru, that attitude of wonder and glory and victory, and Guru, from the cave of inner darkness comes the light. The light radiate, radiate, radiate. This is a blessing you can share with the world around you. Satanam Sri Vaheguru. Well, everybody, thank you all. I do wish you the best possible outcome of this. I pray with all my heart, mind, and soul that you really dedicate yourself to your absolute best possibilities of this year. The world really asks for it. More pain there is, more prayers there has to be. More pain there is, more love and more blessings have to be. Are you busy suffering the pain? Are you busy giving the blessing? If you feel the pain, this is interesting, yeah? If you feel the pain, it's because you are being asked to give blessing. One who doesn't feel the pain, why do they care? Why should they give blessing? They don't even feel the pain that requires a blessing. You're not feeling pain because you're supposed to just get lost in the pain. You're feeling the pain because you are being called. You are being asked. You are being highlighted. You're being alerted. That's a better expression. The pain is alerting you, saying, hello, please bring blessings. Please bring blessings. And you use that pain. It's not like, bless, the pain is here and the blessing is there. That doesn't work. It's with that power and intensity of the pain that you give the blessing. It comes from the same place. It's the same charge, the same energy. Satnam Sri Vaheguru. Give the blessing. Feel the pain, give the blessing. Feel the pain, give the blessing. This is a project for the next year. Let's see what we're just a little drop in the ocean, but it goes through the net. Okay, Vaheguru, I hand it over. Satnam, everybody, thank you. I don't know who's going to take the steering wheel now.
J-Core with the Triya. Thank you, Shiv Charan Ji. It's been always very insightful, and thank you for sharing it with all of our community. Enjoy your day. Many good prayers for this day and to come. Satnam.